create useful apps that will make people's lives a whole lot brighter, then MTN and Ayoba are calling on you to build unique tech solutions on the Ayoba Super App. Yeah, if you want the world to see your limitless imagination, then register now for the maiden edition of the MTN Ayoba Hackathon and stand a chance to win up to 20,000 Ghana cedis and loads of other juicy cash prizes on offer. Just visit ayobahackathongh.com, read up for extra information, and register to compete with a host of super smart developers, innovators, and startups. The deadline for registration is 25th of August 2021. MTN, everywhere you go.
Drive time on Joy with Lexis Bill.
Late afternoon is healthy snack time. Charlie, reward your hustle with Super Yogo. You've earned it. Go for more. Go for Super Yogo. It's a fortified frozen yogurt from Fan Milk. It comes in two flavors, natural plain or exciting lemon. Enjoy Super Yogo and support your immune system with the vitamin B6 and vitamin D, all in the goodness of Super Yogo. Get yours today from a Fan Milk vendor, supermarket, or a petrol mart near you. Yeah. So yes, we're ready to vibe here on our drive chat on Joy 99.7 FM. We had a conversation yesterday and we promised to have a sequel to that conversation today. And rightly so, we needed it because look, the things that we talked about yesterday, very, very delicate. And if you missed out on that conversation, it all stemmed from a very, very... And then I'll tell you where we go from here. So, what do you do if you no longer find the man you intend to marry attractive? The emotional love I used to have for him is no longer there. My fiancé is a very good person and he hasn't done anything to offend me. Yet, I no longer feel I can be with him for the rest of my life. We're set to start with our counseling session. I'm very confused and I don't know what to do. I haven't told him anything yet because I feel it will hurt his ego and make him very disappointed in me. Everything was fine from the day we decided to get married. I was a happy person and couldn't wait to settle down with him. All of a sudden, that feeling is gone. We haven't had any misunderstanding or whatsoever with him to make me hate him. I feel I'm still with him because I don't want to hurt his feelings with my departure. We've paid some wedding vendors already, yet I am not at ease in my spirit. I need advice on how to break my intention to him without hurting his feelings. So we had a very interesting conversation about this particular issue yesterday. Activated the phone lines. A few people shared their thoughts about it. I mean, some were in the same soup as well.
I've been there before. What happened was we've been dating since school days. We were dating.
Stamping. Yeah, Bomubian Company Limited. Yes, modern technology, no. The chemicals, any idea they extra. The design if you want the amount. And on the kind of stamping, so stamper, and just see a BBS. So the shape when they say the opening the amount. People say we get swimming pool, People say swimming pool, and now say we are for commercial use. Ni na no ye hu adwuma e de ma wo ye wo modern ones e wo ba e bi wo kra na ye ma wa onipa de to nso ni mu asade asa na kania na ide na aso bomu dwene nko a e ne betimi aye sa swimming pool e de ama wo ye window designs no je wo e kwa hu do bibira ye fa so ye no obetimi kire se de o pe no ye ya so ye timi de modern technology e kire wo se de o be ye na e be ye nyina atwa.
James Inkaso says, this discussion is just about me. After 15 years of marriage and wedding, she's gone. She said she doesn't have any love for me.
We are back into conclusion. Not the Papa Ediama. We don't design a Yamagana for yet they are not at the Muslim Kokra. Your numbers and so, and that they will screen as a no. It's waiting up for your numbers, no, afraid, and Gumubi or you know, yet I was said when you are Eliot. Now be two and among now only yen about baby and so now the show was say unu the biarada Bomogine company dear ye number one. Yamwakaba at the Babumudine Company Limited, Yasuye. Now, Bumudine Company Limited, ye Ubia, ye adansie ahudumadia ahodo nyina na se bibia ka ne say construction ahodo bia ena ye Bumudine Company Limited ye general.
But a few of our brothers too were really livid.
Now, Adebi Asekoseng. The guy has done all these things, and you are saying that
It's a POP designs. Now POP designs na ye no. Enye titidie ni bi. Ye na abefodie a ye bi enkane ahodo hyehyem. Ema wankasa uba na obi hu atum say eye modern technology and ye dia ye. Obi ono wa design yo wo beye edi amount. Acha ye mfie mienu na ati wani so. Say ye POP design ma wa 20 years to come. So eye modern because of say you use modern technology and ye di agency. Bomudia construction company. You tuma di any bin so ne say ye pillar designs. Na pillar designs na team ye mame. And people here been with POP. No one a design. Pillars no body as you. Name of say, ye pillar, ye concrete, ye at the mouth. Everyone can who say, pillar ya by yes, way, F, cement, come on. Me pato ye concrete stamping. Yet, Bomudian Company.
A very extensive conversation. Lots of people shared their thoughts and all. And I thought that no, we can't leave it there, because it looked like a lot of people are in this situation. So we decided to actually reach out to one of our very good friends who's very supportive and helps us, our very good counselor, a very renowned marriage counselor and author as well. He's actually written a couple books, Doing Dating Decently, Going Out Without Getting In. One of the books that you need to read. He's coming up with another one called Unwrapping Being Unmarried. Reverend Amos Kevin Annan is here in the studio today to help us find solutions to our problems. Reverend Akwaba.
Lexis.
I see a smile on your face. What's making you smile?
It's because of the Reverend.
So you hardly hear it, eh?
Well, I am simply a sorry penny.
A sorry penny. Me the member also for.
It's a delight to be in your company this evening.
I'm excited as well.
I'm humbled by the gesture of interacting with you on this very important subject. I think that it's a matter of grave need for individuals who find themselves in such situations. It is my hope that our conversation would be helpful for our audience.
Yeah. Certainly, it has to be, because a lot of people reached out that, look, they're in this situation. Even after the conversation that we had on radio, I had messages on my Facebook, my Instagram, and people are talking about how, they're also in the same situation. So the first thing I would really want to find out from you is, how come this is so common? And where did this trend, is it actually even a trend? Have you heard issues like this? Where's it coming from?
Well, it is a common occurrence. As to whether or not it's a trend is where I would not draw the strong conclusion on that. But it's a common occurrence. Where it comes from varies from person to person. As you may well know, we are differently wired, and therefore how we interpret situations that we encounter differ from person to person.
Right.
Now, our coping thresholds also differ from person to person. So what one individual may be able to stomach, the other person may actually become nauseated by same and therefore throw out. Now, some, it is their expectations. It's the expectations they had. They had a certain set of expectations, and those expectations they realized would not be met if they press further and consummate the relationship into marriage. That is where the documentations and everything is done. Consummation comes in many forms. Others only look at the sexual bit of consummation, but there's more to consummation than just sexual consummation. Now, they won't commit themselves yet because they are very uncertain.
Okay.
Others are also anxious about the prospects of the future. And on the basis of that, they, like the lady said, you begin to develop cold feet.
Right.
In her case, the gentleman was being bad-mouthed by individuals who were messing him up. And so then she was constrained in her desire and decision to continue. Because nobody wants someone who has been overly damaged to be part of them because of the collateral effect of the damage. Now, others also would have made some investments in the persons. And as you know, when people are invested in, their profile goes up. And when your profile goes up, you begin to look at your current situation and realize, I have gone past this category of persons, and therefore a different suitor would come your way, and then you rather respond to the other suitor. And like the gentleman was saying, that he invested in a relationship, they were almost at the point of commitment. Then the person changed their mind.
Yeah.
And he's livid, as you said. Why would he be? Because his investment has gone in there. But the other party, especially for women, emotional connection comes deeply for them, unlike many men. Many men is more the physical attachment and then the aesthetics that the person adds to you qualitatively at the initial stage. You may add other considerations, but for women, security. Can I have the assurance? Can I be an open book? Can I be vulnerable towards this gentleman? Now, these are the things and many more that will create the atmosphere for the emotional connection.
Okay.
So when the lady says, for instance, that she's not having the same emotional love, it's basically about the connection, which creates the chemistry between you and another. When that is absent, a woman cannot really be fulfilled. So she cannot be faulted for feeling that way. But what she has to be told is that you don't live primarily on the basis of your feelings.
Yeah.
Because our feelings change with circumstances and situations of life. That is why you are not going to live your life on the basis of feelings only. I'm adding only because the feelings are important, but it's not exclusively a feelings endeavor.
Okay. Okay.
Because see, when you even marry, your feelings will change. And I always tell people that love before marriage tends to be very spontaneous. But in marriage, it has to be intentional. If you don't do it intentionally, there's no way you may love your spouse. Because your feelings are not going to be the same. It's not a constant situation. It will be swinging.
So it doesn't. It means that once you've gone to say the vows and all of that, to love and to hold and to whine, at some point in the marriage, it will go down.
I mean, at a point, you even ask yourself, why did I marry this character?
Chai.
I mean, what at all did I see in this person? Then I got married to them. And it happens. You begin to review why, how, what happened. Was I under a spell? Was I hoodwinked?
Yeah.
Was I coerced? Was I manipulated? Was it a cogent reasoning that I had? So you have to go through all these phases. They are part of life, and you have the, top times where you're excited, and you have down moments where you are so low, so down, and you are not sure if you made a prudent decision.
So, in the words of Charles, who called itimitico.
Oh, you see, if it is exclusively an emotion, ebetiako. But where it is a commitment, it is a decision. Entinkosa.
Okay.
Because see, if it is a commitment, the commitment will be tested like every other commitment. Every other commitment will be tested.
Right.
And some of the things that will test the commitment has to do with the storms you encounter, the uncertainty that gushes through your memory. All of a sudden, your thoughts are under siege with all kinds of thoughts. Then also, for males, they encounter with an alternative that looks far more prospective. Because males tend to be driven by variety. And that's the biggest Achilles heels for males.
Okay.
Now, if you're a man and you don't discipline and restrain yourself, you would always see something new that attracts you, because the allure of the new is very, very pronounced when it comes to men.
Okay. But what about women?
For women, it is the one that makes you feel most assured.
They are not driven by variety.
Not necessarily. Assurance. The connection, the chemistry that exists between a woman and a man is key for them. Now, others then will add some more characteristics of a person, i.e., does he add to me as a person, complimenting me? Where I have a void, does he feel that vacuum? Can I also reciprocate the same gesture? The issues of trust, for instance, is key. Can I go to sleep without wondering where he is and what he's at and doing? Those kinds of assurance, because women are driven largely by security.
Okay. Now, let's look at solutions now, because a lot of people are in this, obviously. But what do you do when you find yourself at this point in your life?
Okay, well, the first thing you need to do is to identify where you were and where you are now. Because you see, you were at a certain place of assurance. Because no relationship suddenly goes bad. No relationship suddenly grows stale. Something occurs. And that which occurs is the root cause. Let us identify the root cause. Once you're able to name it, you're able to describe it, then you move to the next phase. You are in a relationship with another. There's a need for you to raise your issues of concerns, your observations. You have to now discuss what you are concerned about. Because oftentimes the other party is afraid if I raise these issues by him or her, they will go ballistic. Or the relationship is suddenly going to take a nosedive. And I don't want that. Some even want friendship, but they think they can move further into marriage. The other party may not countenance that because they're looking at the amount of time they've invested in the relationship. Not that they've done anything, but just the time that they could have spent on other things. Then would be a worry for them. So there's a need to discuss the issue with the person. Show respect. Find a cozy environment where there's no distractions, where both of you can honestly appraise the relationship. Because see, an unexamined life, we are told, is not worth living. What about an unexamined relationship? So this is the point that you discuss it. What are your concerns? What are the worries that you have? What are the things that are making you sit on edge, that are creating all these anxieties in you and uncertainties? Bring them to the table. Let's discuss them. Sometimes, whilst you are discussing, the other party has actually been oblivious of what you're going through. And therefore, you give them the opportunity to respond and reassure you. You see, sometimes the people don't know, and therefore, they may have taken so many things for granted. And there will be so much rubble beneath that now you need to take your time to take them one after the other, so that the slate is clean.
Okay.
And then you can have a relationship. Now, when you discuss it and you realize that, well, it ain't going to be, then you have to have a peaceful resolution of the matter of terminating the relationship. Now, it's always a very difficult experience for me when I sit and monitor and supervise breakups. But you see, it's better to break up a relationship than to push it to marriage and divorce. It is better to do it before. Because you see, breaking it when it is a commitment that is consummated into marriage is painful. The expenditure is higher than prior to the marriage. Like she was talking about, they have gone to pay some money to vendors and all those things. Now, if it carries through to the marriage proper, they would have expended more. Now, oftentimes we are worried about what are people going to say, you know, like one of the voices that you played is thinking of what others are going to say. Now, it's pressure of the people. If we are going to live to please people, there's no way you're going to be able to live a fulfilled life.
Yeah.
It is the two of you who have to come to an amicable resolution or an amicable parting. If you can't have a solution to it, then there will be the need to part.
Okay.
And when you are parting also, there's a need for you to appreciate the enormous investment this fellow have made in your life in terms of time, in terms of commitment, in terms of being there for you on very uncertain moments of your life. These individuals may have been there all through your life. Now, how do you show appreciation and honor? Letting them know that you are not being an ingrate. Because sometimes if you come across as an ingrate, the pain that is visited on these other parties is grave.
Right.
And sometimes what you find also is that they recycle the pain through other activities. So some actually go into cyclical breakups. They go into relationships just to offend and hurt people so they can back out. And you see these serial unsuccessful relationships that have occurred. So there's a need for you to come to a certainty whether or not it's a destination or we are able to continue.
Okay. So what I get, the main thing I get is have dialogue and full disclosure, right?
Disclosure is very important.
That should be one of the very first things you need to do when you find yourself in that
In fact,
position.
that's what matured people do.
That's what mature people do.
You see, love is for the brave-hearted. Love is for the brave-hearted. Now, to love another is a major risk we all take. Now, it takes brave-heartedness to be able to keep love and to work at it and ensure that it is nurtured, and it is nurtured to the point where it blossoms and bears fruits and dividends that blesses other people. Only the brave-hearted can do that. Now, cowards will chicken out because it's one load too many.
Yeah.
And sometimes many individuals are not actually prepared for that. They are ready for the cozy ride, the fair weather friendship. But when the turbulence begins to come, they want to run away. Every good relationship would oscillate between tranquility and turbulence. If you don't know how to manage that, you cannot manage a relationship.
I would activate the phone lines for a couple of calls. If you have any questions you'd want to ask Elder Amos Kevin Annan, that's fine, right?
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
good.
fine.
Colonel George Wilson says I should call you Elder, so yeah. And he says, brilliant presentation. You can also send us a WhatsApp on 055 1111 997, okay? 0302216541. You probably are in the same situation, and now you have an idea of what you need to do. Having that very tough conversation, letting it all out, your fears, the things that bother you, and all. You have to go do it. Let me see who's here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You're welcome.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
I'm Eno calling from Insaum.
Eno.
I'm very happy for this discussion.
Awesome.
I listened to you yesterday and I was cheering. I've been a victim of this. And I'm happy the counselor has said it's better to sit down, settle things, and break it now than to go into marriage. I've also fallen a victim. I met my husband. He was my senior in school. We stayed for some time, and God is so good. He got a job in one of the security service. He started his work. I was also working in some here. We later got married, and we now have 2 kids. He entered university. First year, we were living all right. Second year, he even took me to register general to register our marriage. But third year, things turned upside down. He brought a lady and introduced her as a friend. When I've even had my second child, the lady brought my son some gifts and all that, and advising me to take care of the baby, not knowing he was lying to me. He went and filed divorce when I have not even offended him. And family members were confused as to why he was taking that harsh decision. And a sister-in-law one day told me, Millie, forget about him. He says he made a mistake. He wasn't enlightened when he married you. And the university has opened his eyes and see that you are not of his equal. So that is why he's parting ways with you. And I've suffered severe pain. So I will advise the man, it's painful, but it's better to break now than to hurt yourself forever. When we were having this session, a man came, he was questioning me, I mentioned my name, and the man expressed shock because he sees me older than the age, and I've endured this for 11 years. Parents, family members are advising me to get another partner, but I can't. But I've been thinking. It's killing me. So it's better he quits now and endure the small pain than to get him, have children. As your colleague just said, that he has 3 children and the lady has left. It's painful, but there is no way you can force somebody to be with you as Charles said. So majority of us are suffering within. So it's better to quit than to stay in and suffer the consequences forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Eno. I don't know. Also,
yeah, Lexis, you see, it's unfortunate that someone will say because he's been to the university, he now has broadened his horizons and therefore he sees the relationship he's in as unworthy of his attention or commitment. It's unfortunate. And worse off is when another lady comes and is introduced as a friend, only for the lady to backstab you and take over the space that you had as a place of pride. That is unfortunate. So I always caution that these problems are not particularly akin to specific individuals. Human beings potentially can put each other in this harm's way or in this danger or this distress. It is therefore important for us to understand that when we build trust with others, we should prove ourselves trustworthy.
We ran out of time. I mean, we could discuss this all day, you know. But what's important for me is you've given us a clear direction on what to do, and that's very important. I'm really grateful that you came through today. I'm sure some people would like to contact you, and of course, even get some of your books. If you haven't seen his book, you need to go get it. Doing Dating Decently, Going Out Without Getting In, the global edition by Amos Kevin Annan. The second one, is it out already?
Not yet. It should be out by the end of the month.
Okay. Unwrapping Being Unmarried. Okay.
It's a series. The next one to come will be Unwrapping Being Married.
I want to see that.
Unwrapping Being a Husband. Unwrapping Being a Wife. Unwrapping Being a Parent. So that's the series in that package.
Unwrap when etekwa. Okay, so can we reach out to you?
Well, I mean, whilst I'm in the studio, you can call, but you have to make prior arrangements before I can pick a call. Not late calls also.
Okay.
So it's 0244 27 3368.
All right.
0244 27 3368. Thank you very much, Lexis, for having me in your studio.
We're totally grateful.
I'm on.
AC has the latest updating news. Hello, Mami AC.
Hello, Lexis Bill. In the headlines, 3 teacher unions have issued a September 30 deadline to Ghana Education Service to address challenges they say is impeding quality teaching and learning in the country, failing which they will...
Modern technology, the chemicals, any extra, the design if you want the amount. And on the kind of stamping, so stamp, let us see a BBS, so the shape when they say the opening the amount, over so we swimming pool, over so you swimming pool, and now say we are for commercial use. Ninano, ye mu adwuma e de ma wo. Ye wo modern ones over e du okra na ye ma wa onipa to nso ni mu asade asa na kania na ede na aso. Gumu dwene nko a e ye betimi aye sa swimming pool yi e de ama wo. Ye window designs. Window designs no ye wo ekwan hudo bibira ye fa so ye no. Obetimi kire se de ope no. Ye anso ye timi de modern technology. E kire wo se de obeye na ebe ye ye. Ye nyina to adwene a ni aba into conclusion na yaba be ye ediama window design say yama Ghana fo no ye de no edemu so kokora ye numbers nso na etwabu e wo screen na se no it wait me afa ye numbers no na wa frɛ ye na enkomo bi ye wo no ye ne wo atwe ye na wase se wanya pere eliatie ye na betu anamo na wo ne yen ababedi ensawoso na ye hye wo se unu mu da biara da bomodwene campaign de ye number 1 Yamwakwa ba edeba bomudwene company limited yaso ye na bomudwene company limited ye obi a